This is my retell in the source language. So, hi, my name is Aiden Burke, and I'm going to tell you about a story when I was in 8th grade and my experience with playing football with a hearing football team. So, when I was in 8th grade, I was in my PE class kind of playing sports, and I was playing soccer at the time. And in my PE class, and when I was playing soccer, I wasn't really being touched. You don't really get touched in soccer. You just kind of run and do your own thing. Um, but anyway, so in PE, I remember a time we were just, working out, and about, a couple weeks later, a high school football coach came and visited our PE class. He was looking for anybody interested to play football in high school. And I was interested, so I approached him and started asking him a bunch of different questions, like how can a deaf person hear the plays that's being announced? How can the deaf person hear the whistle being blown? Um, how can deaf people do this, and just listed off a bunch of different things. I was very curious. Uh, and so the coach's response was fairly positive. I had a really positive interaction with him, but the principal actually got a lot more of a negative response from, more like, oh, deaf people can't do this and deaf people can't do that. But I wasn't going to let anything stop me from playing, so I was very persistent. Um, and I was allowed to play. And so the coach told me about a summer football camp. And so I went and did this summer camp. And when I got there, the first thing that I noticed was all of these sophomores. They were huge. They had big arms, and their chests just seemed to be popping out. And they were just walking around really like broad-shouldered, very prominent muscles. And, I'm over here, I'm just a freshman, and I see these guys, and I'm like, wow, I'm so small, and these guys are huge. This is crazy. Um, but I did learn how to interact with them. I learned how to like meet the sophomores and kind of like talk to them and stuff like that. Um, but then I kind of went on to do the freshman kind of training camp, and I learned how to run properly. You kind of have to, have your arms tight by your sides and move your arms as you run. You have to learn how to work out properly. So I learned how to do that, and I learned a lot of different things. Um, and so um, when I was at the camp, I was communicating with like a few different people. I could kind of meet a few different people and communicate with them. Um, but one person did know a little bit of sign language because his mom was an interpreter. So I got to sign with him a little bit. And then there was a time later when I was a lineman, and I was having some problems because one time I was playing, and an opposing player came up and shoved me, and it pushed my helmet up, and I have a hearing aid, so they pushed my helmet up, and it caused a really terrible sound in my hearing aid, and so I had to stop and fix that. And then my coach kind of moved me back from lineman to defense. So that was kind of our solution for that. I just played more defense for the rest of the year, so we didn't have to run into that problem anymore. And the whole reason that I even got hit in the first place was because there was a play that was called that I didn't hear, so a mistake was made, and I got a little bit injured. But for the rest of that season, we won 5 games and we lost 3. We lost one of our games to a rival team, so that was kind of a bummer. But so after the year finished, I went back to the summer camp, to the football camp, and now I'm, a sophomore, and I'm kind of more experienced, and I'm a little bit bigger now too, and I saw a lot of incoming freshmen, and I just kind of realized, like, wow, thought back to when I was a freshman, and seeing all these smaller guys, And so, and I became friends with some of the freshmen, but they had to go off and do the freshman camp, and I had to go play the juniors and other sophomores. So when I was doing that, it was really challenging. It was tough because the juniors are huge too. Like they're bigger than the sophomores. And so, I had to learn how to run faster and work out more intensely and hit harder was one of the new things I had to learn because the juniors were just huge. So I kind of had to learn how to pack more of a punch. Um, and yeah, so I continued to play football throughout my high school years, all the way through my senior year. And if there was one thing that I remember the most out of playing is there was a time when I was a lineman and I was chasing after the quarterback of the opposite team. And as I was chasing them, I didn't hear the whistle blow. The ref blew the whistle, and I continued to tackle the quarterback. And it was so close. There was a flag called on the play. I almost got penalized. Like it was really, really bad. But yeah, I remember that experience. So yeah, that's it.